Today's video will explain why C++'s list class does not have the array index operator. Hello, I'm James Helfrich. The list operator is a linked list in C++, and it does not have the square bracket, otherwise known as the array index operator. This video will explain why that is. The list type in Python allows for random access, but C++ does not. Why is that? Well, first of all, a Python list object is actually an array. So if I say data 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, I can say print data of 3, and that's because all these elements are next to each other in memory, so I can jump to the given slot in OS of 1. Now in C++, a list object is a linked list. So if I say std list of data 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, I cannot say data square bracket 3. And that's because it's a linked list. But you know, this common representation is actually a bit misleading, because the elements can be really any location in memory, and there's no guarantee that they are in continuous slots in memory. So let's write some code to see how this will play out. Okay, so I have a my list, and I'm going to push back 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create class my list, and this is a public custom : list of int. And this custom list int is sort of like standard template library list, except it's one that I created, and this allows me to inherit off it. The standard template library will not. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to create a int operator square bracket int index. Okay. So I'm going to implement the square bracket operator. Now, how am I going to do this? Well, first of all, I got to make sure my index is not out of range. So I got to deal with that error condition. All right, now I'm going to have to search for the element I'm looking for. Now that I found the element, I can return the element. Okay, now I fully expect that when I look for my list of 3, I'm going to get 0, 1, 2, 3. I should get the value 8. Let's see if it's true. And sure enough, I get 8. Now observe that I have to iterate through the first 3 elements before I get to slot number 4, or index 3. In other words, this is os of n, where n is the size of the index I'm going to. And because the square bracket operator is os of n, or linear, then C++ standard template library does not implement it, because they don't want to encourage you to do things which are slow. If you need to use a square bracket operator, then use a vector. You can learn more about the implementation of the list in the implementation section of the list chapter of the C++ data structures textbook.